So welcome back with the another area, corporate finance. So we are doing question number 2.1. This is from your IMA study support package. Let's read the requirements first. Requirement number 1 is, in order to have sufficient funds to manufacture replacement parts and purchase the new equipment, how much would the company have to borrow if it uses option 1? Okay, so they're saying how much the company has to borrow. Show your calculations. How much they have to take the loan, right? Number 2, they are asking you calculate the first year's interest cost. Okay, it's very easy question. Number 3, calculate the annual interest cost of option 2. Okay. 4, identify and explain 2 advantages and 2 disadvantages of option 2 compared to option 1. So we don't know exactly what are these options until we read the scenario, but we got to know that they are talking about some options, right? So they're saying how much to borrow, right? First year interest cost, annual interest cost, and advantages and disadvantages. Fifth, identify and explain the impact on the company's net working capital. Remember working capital, we studied in financial analysis. Okay, net working capital and balance sheet accounts if it utilizes option 1, the bank loan to finance the replacement parts and new equipment. Okay, very nice. So we need to see the impact. What we need to see? We need to see the impact on working capital and balance sheet accounts. If it will go for option 1. What is option 1? From here you got to know what is option 1. What is option 1? We will take a bank loan. Okay, so they are saying if you go for a bank loan, what will happen to your working capital and what will happen to your balance sheet? Can anyone tell me in the chat box? Very simple, right? If you take a loan, what will happen to your balance sheet? Yes. Yes. Anyone? So see, when you will take the bank loan, why you are taking the bank loan? To finance the replacement parts and new equipment. What is replacement part? Maybe inventory, right? Replacement part is what? Maybe inventory. And equipment is your non-current asset, right? So can I say in the balance sheet, my inventory will go up and my non-current assets will also go up, right or not? Because I am taking a loan. Either I will purchase replacement part or I will purchase new equipment or both. Getting it? So for example, the entry will be debit your inventory, right? I mean debit, when you will get the bank loan, first of all, debit will be bank. Credit will be bank loan. Then what will happen? You will purchase the inventory. So debit inventory, debit equipment, credit bank. Right, everyone? Anyways, don't worry. We will see this in detail. I'm just brainstorming. Identify and explain the impact on the working capital and balance sheet accounts if it goes for option 2. Same question, but option 2. Okay. And what is option 2? Term loan. So you got to know from here without reading the scenario that we will take term loan. Okay. What is point 7? I will tell you in a while what's the difference. In addition to the manufacturing cost of the replacement parts and inventory, identify 3 other costs that the company can expect to incur in relation to inventory. Yeah, very simple question. See, every time, remember, they will give you question like this. And this is nowhere written in your book. Maybe, where when we have done so many essay questions where they ask, what are the other factors to consider? Remember, what are the qualitative factors to consider? If you remember in financial analysis we did. So there comes your uh, common sense, your business acumen, your experience. Getting the story? So be prepared for these types of requirements. Always they will ask you. Anyways, so can anyone tell me quickly in the chat box what other types of cost we incur for inventory? Very simple question. When you manufacture inventory, where you keep it? In the sky? Very nice. Carrying cost, storage cost. Excellent. So this is one of the answers. What else? What else? Where we will store? In the warehouse, right? And will we just keep the inventory in the warehouse and we will forget about it? I mean, anyone can enter and take it out, right? Steal it. So what we will do? We will arrange for some security, right? So security people, they work for charity? No, right? I have to pay them. So this is additional cost for me, right? Okay, assume security is there, but you know very well internal controls, they have inherent limitation. So security guy, he colluded with some outside party and he helped them steal the inventory. Then what will happen? You lost the inventory, right? So this is your expense or not? Yeah, I mean CCTV is there, but inventory is gone, right? CCTV can bring your inventory back? No, right? So it's gone. I mean, at least you will know that he helped them and you will fire him, or maybe he will also run away. Because how he will stop if he is colluding with outside parties? So you can say that the loss from theft of inventory, right? There is one more cost if you can just think a little bit more. Three we already did, but what if they ask four? So remember that concept we study in financial accounting, that inventory should be recorded at lower of cost and net realizable value, right? This is International Accounting Standard 2, I think. So they say inventory should be recorded at lower of cost and NRV. Why? Remember, the answer is there. Because you have inventory for 2 years, you are not able to sell it. Maybe it will go out of fashion, it will expire, it will get obsolete, I mean, right? So you cannot sell it for what you are thinking you will sell it. So what will happen? Your net realizable value will decrease. And the standard tells you, you need to bring it down. You need to write off. This is your expense or not? Relating to inventory. So you will charge to P&L the loss resulting from this write-off. Right? Very nice. So we already completed question number 7, by the way. So they said identify 3. So just make a note of it. The first one was storage cost. The second one was security cost, right? And what was the third one? The loss due to theft. And the fourth one we discussed is obsolescence. Obsolescence means, the inventory is going out of fashion, it is expired, you cannot sell it anymore. So I'm writing the spelling for you. Obsolescence. Okay. So obsolescence, obsolete. Okay. So it's done, right? Let's go and read the scenario quickly. Please write yes in the chat box if everything is okay. Very nice. So you people are writing yes now. No more okay, huh? Very nice. Let's start. So the scenario is the company FSL Industries Uh, Manufactures and sells conveyor systems to large industrial customers. When the systems are sold, the contracts require FSL to provide replacement parts for the systems on fairly short notice so that their customers' operations are not interrupted. Got the point? Very simple. So this is your business. You are selling, manufacturing and selling conveyor systems, and also the replacement parts for those conveyor systems, right? Like conveyor belts you find on in the airports, you know, from where your baggage is coming from the aircraft. That is called conveyor belt, right? Conveyor belt. So I mean, if something there is problem in the conveyor belt, so the company will supply the part or not? They will supply, right? Otherwise, all full belt cannot operate, right? Anyways, so in exam, don't waste your time understanding this much. You know, you are saying, what is conveyor system? Let me think on it. Khalli walli, whatever is the business, you don't care. We just need to understand, okay, they supply replacement part. Uh, the company is in the process of introducing a new line of products which would require an estimated $9 million investment. Okay, new line of products you are launching in replacement parts and equipment. Okay, so the investment will be in replacement parts and equipment. The CFO is investigating financing options to cover the cost of carrying the replacement parts and the new equipment investment. So you people are CFO. Congratulations. Okay, in this question only. Two financing alternatives are presented below. Option number 1, option number 2. So see, this question, I hope you understand now why it is in corporate finance area, because we are talking about source of finance, right? There are how many types of sources of finance? Remember, I told you many times. Can you write in the chat box how many types of sources of finance? Mainly, if I say mainly, how many types of sources of finance we have? One is debt. Very nice. Very nice. Two only. Two. Mainly, if you talk about two, equity and debt. And this is what is written in your balance sheet also. Right or not? What's your balance sheet? You say, these are my assets, and then you tell how I finance it. How much is through equity and how much is through debt. This is called accounting equation. Getting the story? So what's balance sheet? You say these are my assets. How much is through equity? How much is through debt? Class. This is the balance sheet. Okay? Getting the story? Very nice. So what is option 1, my friends? Can you read it? Let me zoom in a little bit. What is option 1? They say a commercial bank has offered the company a loan at an interest rate of 5% with a compensating balance of 10%. The loan would have to be renegotiated each year. Okay. So how much is the interest rate? How much is the interest rate? 5%. Very nice. Option 2. What is option 2? An insurance company has offered a 10-year term loan to the company with a fixed annual interest rate of 7%. Interest is paid semi-annually. So you pay after 6 months. Okay. 10-year term loan. So it's fixed. It's fixed. Term loan is fixed. You can see from here that the interest rate is fixed for 10 years. Right or not? But in the first one, the loan has to be renegotiated each year. So every year you have to renegotiate the loan. Getting the story? Okay. Yeah, I'm coming to it. So requirement number 1. Let's do requirement number 1 first. In order to have sufficient funds to manufacture replacement parts and purchase the new equipment, how much the company has to borrow if it uses option 1? Yeah, what do you think? How much they need to borrow if they use option 1? So my friends, what is compensating balance? It is a minimum bank account balance that the borrower agrees to maintain with the lender, right? The purpose of this balance is to reduce the lending cost for the lender, since the lender can invest the cash located in the compensating bank account and keep some or all of the proceeds. Okay, this is the definition of compensating balance. In short, the bank needs 10% in the account. Okay, you cannot touch it. Now the question is, we will take 10% of 9 million or not? So we cannot take 10% of 9 million. Okay, because the compensating balance percentage will be applied on the gross figure, not the net figure. So I can say that this 9 million is the net figure. Getting the story? Everyone, I mean 9 million is 90%, not 100%. Okay, let me open the Excel sheet for you and you will understand it better. So for example, I'm saying you here that how much we need to borrow and how much is the compensating balance I need to keep, and how much is the total amount, right? So basically, I need to borrow how much in dollars? 9 million. I am writing in thousands. Okay. Let me write like this. Okay. So basically, in percentage, if I am saying percentage, so percentage, this is 90%. Okay. If you keep this as 100%, the answer will be wrong. Okay. Remember, we did this approach in before also in investment decisions, in decision analysis also, right? So how much is compensating balance? 10. It will be applied on the total figure, not on the borrowed amount. Getting the story, everyone? So how much it will be? This divided by, sorry, if I need, if I need the amount total which I need to borrow. So like this, it will be 10 million. How much? 10 million. Got it? So the interest you will pay on 9 million or 10 million? Yes, please write in the chat box. The interest which you will pay on this loan will be on 9 million or 10 million. Excellent. So all of you said 10 million. Very nice. So I think this is the next question, by the way. They asked you. So this is the answer for question number 1. You will say we need to borrow 10 million because to satisfy the 10% compensating balance requirement. And you can show this working. Got the point, everyone? Please write yes in the chat box. Okay. Question number 2 is calculate the first year's interest cost of option 1. First year's interest cost of option 1. Very simple, right? How much is the interest rate? Basically, question number 2 is to test your knowledge that you will apply 5% on 9 million or 10 million. Otherwise, do you think this is a good requirement? I mean, this is a very simple requirement. Anyone can do this. Right it or not? So this requirement number 2 is to test your knowledge that you will apply 5% on 9 million or 10 million. Getting the story, everyone? Very nice. So it will be not 50,000, it will be 500,000. So how much is 5% of 10 million? Let's see, very simple. Interest rate and loan, the total amount, total borrowed amount. Is 10 million. So annual interest how much? Right? So this is the answer. Got it, everyone? So this is the answer for 1. This is the answer for 2. Third one. See, corporate finance questions are very easy. I'm telling you again. This is the easiest topic in your part 2 syllabus. Trust me. Once you will complete it, you will realize this. Okay. Third one. What is the third requirement? Calculate the annual interest cost of option 2. So remember, how much is the rate for option 2? 7%, right? Remember, it is paid semi-annually. It is paid semi-annually, right? So it means 7% divided by 2 or not? Getting the story? In option 2, there is no problem of compensating balance, my friends. In option 2, how much loan I have to take? Yes, very nice, 9 million. Okay, very simple. That's why they are not asking you. See, they are not asking you this requirement that if you go for option 2, how much you need to borrow. Getting the story? See, they will not ask you. I mean, how much you need to borrow. This is common sense that you need to borrow 9 million. So they are directly asking you how much is the annual interest cost for option 2. So the main thing in option 2 to consider is it's paid semi-annually. Can anyone tell me in the chat box how much it will be? So if you write in your calculator 9 million, right? And then you say 7%, right? Or not? So how much will come? 630 will come, right? How much will come? 630. This is for 1 year. But you pay it semi-annually, so divided by 2. So 315,000 is the answer. Okay. So see, they are saying annual interest cost. Annual interest cost, you can also directly tell them that 9 million into 7%. Khalas. This is the answer, by the way. But you can tell them in the official answer, like they have mentioned, they first said, okay, semi-annual is this much, so annual will be multiplied by 2. So I mean, they didn't ask you semi-annual, right? But they are saying it's paid semi-annually. But here they are saying annual interest cost. Okay, so be sure that you read the requirement properly. So loan amount is 9 million, right? Annual interest cost is interest rate how much? 7%, right? So, and this was like this. So this is your answer, by the way. And you can say that the semi-annual interest payment will be how much? This divided by 2. Okay, I really hope CMA people, they allow Excel sheets in exam, but till now you have the notepad. And that's the reason actually most of the requirements you will find as theoretical requirements, because they are giving you 100 MCQs, right? So they have big space to test your calculation there. Getting it? So you really have to be good at theory if you need to pass CMA exam, right? Let's see what's your requirement number 4. They say identify and explain 2 advantages and 2 disadvantages of option 2 compared to 1. Okay. So my friends, what is the advantage of option 2 over option 1? The first advantage is that there is no need to renegotiate, right? You can see here, I will highlight for you. Option 1 has to be renegotiated, right? But option 2, there is no renegotiation. So this is an advantage for option 2. The second advantage of option 2 is that you are eliminating the interest rate risk, because there is no need for renegotiation, right? So this 7% is fixed throughout the 10 years. So this is the second advantage. Now, if you talk about the disadvantage of option 2, the problem is that, although we don't have to renegotiate, but what if the interest rates will go down in future years? So then this is a disadvantage for you, because you cannot take advantage of the falling interest rates. Okay, you still have to pay 7% every year until 10 years. The second disadvantage of option 2 is that you are paying more interest. How much more you are paying? So this we already calculated here in the Excel sheet. See, 500 if you take option 1, 630 annual if you take option 2. So overall, if you see $130,000 you are paying extra if you go for option 2. Getting the story, everyone? So moving on, let's do the requirement number 5. Okay, identify and explain the impact on working capital and balance sheet if you go for option 1, right? So if we go for option 1, which is the bank loan, so what will happen actually? If we go for option 1, what is the impact on working capital and balance sheet? So if you talk about the initial double entry, you will say, okay, bank debit and loan credit, right? Or not? So even here, if you see, what is bank, by the way? What is bank? Current asset. Very nice. So your current asset is going up. What will happen to your working capital? Now see, the issue here is that you forgot that option 1 is a bank loan renegotiable every year, right? So that is a short-term loan or a long-term loan? The option 1. It's renegotiable every year. Maybe next year I will say, that's it. I don't need to renew. I don't want to renew the loan. Or not? When a loan is renegotiable, you keep it in the short term or long term. Think again, my friends. Think again. Some people said long term. Now some people are saying short term. So what is short term liability? I mean, what is current liability? Within 1 year you have to repay. There is expectation within 1 year you have to repay. So I mean, the policy of this renegotiation makes this each year. See, each year. Okay. So this will make this as a short-term loan or not? There is no current or non-current portion in option 1. See? Getting the story, my friends? Because you have to renegotiate the full loan every year. So in option 1, it's a short-term loan and it will affect your working capital, right or not? Very nice. Okay, tell me one thing. In option number 1, if I go for option 1, how much my liability will increase? How much my liability will increase? 9 million or 10 million? Very nice. Remember, 10 million it will increase. We discussed before in Excel sheet here that your total amount borrowed is 10 million. Although you are using only 9 million to purchase your equipments and assets, your inventory. Getting the story, everyone? Okay. So my friends, what do you think? Now, if you only think from this perspective that, I don't know, how much inventory they will purchase and how much equipment they will purchase. Assume they will purchase only replacement parts. Assume. Getting it? Total amount they will utilize to purchase the replacement parts. Inventory. Okay. So your current assets will increase by 9 million, but your current liability is increasing by 10 million. Right or not? Getting the story, everyone? Let me write it. Here in option, we are doing which one? 5, right? 4 I already discussed with you. So this is your homework. You can write it later on. 5. So I am saying you that the working capital, the net working capital, right? The current assets minus current liabilities. So my current assets, I'm saying they will increase by 9 million. Okay, assuming only replacement parts purchased. Got it? Okay, tell me one thing by the way. You people missed this point. No one asked me in the chat box. So I am doing what business? Remember, what business I am doing? What do you mean by manufacturing parts? I mean they are saying you new equipment. New equipment, definitely I need to may have a new line of product and I need investment in replacement parts and equipment. This equipment I am purchasing for use or selling. Tell me. It seems I will sell, right? I will sell. I'm selling the equipments, right or not? It's not like that I will purchase an equipment and I will install it in my factory and then I will manufacture something, and I sell. It's not like that. Maybe you can say, because see, they are saying manufacturers. So you can also argue with me that, we manufacture. We will manufacture the parts by using this equipment. In that case, this equipment will become non-current asset and replacement parts will become your inventory. Getting the story? So assuming this is your non-current asset, no problem. Let's assume that this equipment will be your non-current asset. But still, what I am writing here is assuming only replacement parts are purchased. Then we can call it as a current asset or not? Please write yes. Maximum, I mean by maximum how much you can go. Definitely it will be less than 9 million or not. I mean assume equipment is 5 million. The remaining 4 million you will incur on replacement parts. Very nice. But still, I mean, you assume maximum also it will be 9 million. What is current liability? It will increase by 10 million or not? So we already discussed it is a renegotiable loan every year. So you have you have to take it as a current liability. So we can say that the working capital, what will happen to the working capital? In short, your working capital will decrease, right? And already we said above, these are the balance sheet items. Current assets will increase by this much, current liability will increase by this much. Okay, but I mean this is only to analyze that what will happen to working capital. By the way, see, this is you, if you want, don't write in exam this thing. So you will say them, okay, my current assets, which is my inventory, okay, my current assets, inventory, will increase, right? And equipment, which is your non-current asset, will also increase, right? But to analyze what will happen to working capital, I did this for you. Getting the story? Because they are not telling you how much you will incur on inventory and how much you will incur on equipment. So we assume that even if we incur the total amount on inventory, still our working capital will decrease, because the current liability is more than the increase in current assets. In short, okay, I hope it's clear with everyone. Please write yes in the chat box and let's do question number 6. Okay, very nice. So let's start question number 6. What was question number 6? Remember, they say what is the impact on the same question if option 2 is used. Okay, so what do you think, my friends? Just to remind you, what was option 2? We were taking a 10-year loan with a fixed interest rate of 7%. So by the way, this is 10-year loan, right? 10-year loan. So first of all, keeping that thing aside, where we take current portion, non-current portion, that's fine. keeping that thing aside, the 10-year loan is a non-current liability or a current liability? Non-current liability, right? It's a non-current liability, right? Current portion will be the interest only. I mean, maybe it's a bullet payment after 10 years. I don't know. It's not clear from here. And I think term loan, it will be a payment after 10 years, repayment after 10 years. Getting it? So you are not paying every year to them anything back, assuming like this. Okay. So definitely this is a non-current liability. No impact on bullet payment, like one-time payment. After 10 years, you pay one time. Okay. So tell me, my friends, no impact on current liability. But when you will take this loan, what you will do with it? Same thing, like what we discussed. Remember, your current assets will increase by 9 million, assuming only replacement parts are purchased. I mean, at least they will increase by some amount, right? But there is no such impact on current liability. So you can say that your current assets will increase, right? Your current assets will increase, right? No impact on current liability. In short, my working capital will increase or decrease based on the formula above. Very nice. Okay. So this is the answer, by the way, for question number 5. And this is the answer for question number 6. And also you can tell them that, same thing. I mean, current assets, inventory will increase and equipment on current asset will increase. Working capital will also increase because there is no impact on current liability. Okay. Very nice. Please write yes in the chat box if everything is okay. And question number 7 we already discussed in the starting of the class. So refer the discussion in the start of the class. Okay. Where we said, okay, what is the other types of cost related to inventory? Storage cost, security cost, and theft cost, right? Obsolescence cost. So in this question, basically, they are not asking you to recommend any option, right? So no worries. I mean, they're not asking you, so don't worry. I mean, but I mean, if you are a CFO, so you have to weigh these options. You have to weigh, because see, no one option is conclusive. It depends on your company situation, that you want to be get fixed over 10 years. I mean, do you have this capacity in that you can take this risk? So I mean, if you are a risk, right, like we discussed in the last class about risk management, if you are risk avoider, maybe you will say, I don't want to risk and going to option 1, because if you go for option 1, you have to renegotiate every year, and this is a big risk. Getting it? So you said, okay, let me fix the interest rate like this every year. So you may go for option 2. If you are a risk taker, maybe you will go for option 1 because you want to exploit the future years, that maybe the interest rate will go down and I will get benefit out of it. Getting the story, everyone? Right? So see, this is very interesting point you asked me, and like in the last class we discussed in risk management, they can ask you, I mean, they can give you this requirement also, that assume the CFO is a risk taker, which option he will select, and assume the CFO is a risk avoider, which option he will select, or he or she will select. Getting the story, everyone? Okay. So I mean, again, it depends. One more thing I will tell you, very interesting. When you go to take loan, Okay, the bank asks you to fulfill some ratios, right? Current ratio, quick ratio, your debt to equity ratio. And if you can see here, one option will affect your non-current liability. It means it will hit your gearing ratio. It will hit your gearing ratio, right? Gearing means debt to equity ratio. And if you go for the other option, in which there is no impact on non-current liability, there is an impact on current liability. So it will affect your current ratio or quick ratio. So you need to see your existing ratios also, that whichever option I take, what will be the impact on my ratios, and what if I need to go for another loan later on, and I may not be able to fulfill their requirement in future years. So accordingly you have to decide, my friends, that what's your existing status in the balance sheet, and do you want to take a short-term loan or a long-term loan? Do you want to fix yourself over 10 years, or you want to renegotiate every year? Getting the story, everyone? Okay, so it depends on the company situation. So that's why they didn't ask this type of requirement here, that which option he will go for, because there is no conclusive answer here. You have to weigh their advantages and disadvantages, which we have discussed in question number 4. Okay, so this is the conclusion of this question number 2.1.